It's a comedy drama where David plays the ambassador and I play his deputy in a fictional former Soviet republic called Tajikistan, and we see them coping with the things that embassies cope with.
Yeah, British embassy.
A British embassy.
British
yes.
embassy in a
It's a Spanish embassy where we play Spanish. No, yes, but we're British diplomats.
So we came up with a country called Tajikistan, which is probably sort of near the Caucasus.
It's got bits of a lot of countries in it.
It's a little bit Uzbek, a little bit Kazakh, a little bit Turkmenistan.
The vast bit between Russia and the Asia you'd be more familiar with in terms of, countries like Malaysia and Thailand. And it turns out there's a great big gap, which was all Russia and now is all sorts of different countries, and they have very little history of self-government and a lot of natural resources.
A toast to the mighty ibex, great symbol of our nation.
The mighty ibex, great symbol of the nation.
Well, I play Neil, who's the deputy head of mission, and he's been there much longer than Keith Davis. So he's sort of regional expert. He knows lots of stuff about the local scene. But Keith is the new ambassador, who's only been there, we think, a few months.
Yeah, he knows the country less well and doesn't have the same fondness for it, I suppose, and is an ambitious diplomat. This is his first, ambassadorship, if that's the noun.
I know you had a tough time working under my predecessor, and I'm trying to put the ship in order and find a way to balance our slightly differing priorities.
Keely Hawes, who's terrific. We did a sketch with her a few years ago, and she's playing David's wife.
She's not given up her career to go and be with Keith, but she has sort of got to a point where she probably, in the situation that they're in now, can't take it any further. She can't really go up to the next level.
Forget helicopters. Maybe I should just ask him to supply the hospital with some proper drugs.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
They run the ship with the help of 3 other characters. Natalia, who's a Tazbek lady. She is in charge of, PR really is her bag. That's what she does.
It's great to meet you. I'm here to make sure you get everything you need.
Gosh, lucky me.
Isabel, who is the trade and political secretary.
There's a lot of friction and competition between me and Robert Webb's character. So any time we're really locking horns is great.
Maybe you should have gone to the French instead for help. Maybe they wouldn't have let him down like this.
Take it easy, Neil.
Oh, shut up, Isabel. You've been in this country for 10 minutes.
Hey.
And Caitlin, who is consular.
Simon Broughton, our friend at Global Human Rights, was arrested 2 days ago up in Bishkara.
I guess they're a little family, really. A little family stuck in the middle of nowhere who have to deal with no end of problems and dilemmas. And sometimes those come into clash with moral issues. And often, there's a very delicious outcome sometimes when those two things crash against each other.
Robert Webb has been brilliant at learning some Russian for this, because obviously one of the things the Foreign Office have is this incredible facility with languages.
We both had to say a bit of Russian. You've had to say a lot more than me.
I have to say more because my character's been there longer, and also Neil is in trouble. Neil has done something wrong, which we don't find out what it is, but he's being blackmailed by a local Secret Service heavy. This is the guest list for the Trooping of the Colour, and these are the home telephone numbers of Anne Widdecombe and Lambit Opik. So I have several scenes conducted in Russian with him. It's not that I've learned Russian, I've learned the noises.
I too have only learned the noises.
Yes, but I've a vague idea of sometimes which noise means which thing in order to say it like it's just popped into my head. I think a Russian speaker watching it, hopefully I'm doing it well enough for them not to fall about laughing.
Chris Carey, the producer, was cheeky enough and to ask whether we could have the read-through in this amazing part of the Foreign Office.
We always do big read-throughs for shows before we start, and I just said, we should do the read-through in here. And meaning it was a bit of a joke, frankly. And so he went, oh, that's a good idea. And so I just followed it up, and we made that happen. So that was It was a fantastic treat for everyone to be able to, read James and Rupert's script with this amazing cast in the Foreign Office, in the kind of place where presidents and prime ministers and heads of state sign treaties. And there's David Mitchell and Robert Webb cracking jokes.
Despite his anxiety, years in the SCO means that Davis knows how to deal with a small local crisis, deals for money in his Canada.
The Tasbecks are kind and generous hosts. Their care and consideration for their guests is renowned throughout the world. Dollars, proper money.
What about when they find Ibex?
Blame the Frenchman.
We couldn't actually go to Central Asia because there's no real filming infrastructure there. So Turkey seemed to provide some of the images that we would associate with Central Asia. So in terms of creating our fictitious country, we sort of picked from various places.
But yes, that'll hopefully make it look somewhere,
with enough mountains and minarets and whatnot.
More exotic than it actually is. So yeah, that gives the foreign flavour. And then all the interiors are shot in near the M25. So yeah, you get that's good value for the license player. They get full 3 hours of foreign feeling for just only the occasional dash of, I don't know what the foreign herb would be in this metaphor of a dish.
Let's say coriander.
Let's say coriander. Yeah, a little bit of coriander. It tastes all coriandery, but most of it's just potato.
Yeah.